Hello friends, in this video lecture we are going to discuss the load frequency control for single area case. So let us begin. So friends, in our previous lecture we have discussed the automatic generation and voltage control. In that we have seen how we control the output of the generator in terms of voltage and the frequency. Because what we need is on the output side of the generator, we need to maintain the voltage level and we need to maintain the frequency. The voltage level we can maintain it with the help of that excitation controller, and for frequency control we are using that steam wall setting. Okay, that we have discussed in the previous lecture. Today we will learn how to control the load frequency for a single area case. Okay, now this term single area, it is new for you. We'll get back to this point, what is single area, later on in this discussion. We will first discuss why it is necessary to keep the frequency constant. Of course, I discussed that point with you, why the frequency is changing. We can relate the frequency with a very basic example of a rickshaw. Okay, that bicycle rickshaw that I have already told you. Okay, suppose you are riding alone in the bicycle rickshaw and you are giving some paddling input. Okay, definitely that rickshaw will now move with some speed. Now suppose one or two person is now in that rickshaw. Okay, and if you are not going to increase your paddling speed, then definitely the speed of that rickshaw will decrease as compared to the previous one where you were alone riding in that rickshaw. So same is the case with our alternator. When the load on the alternator is changes, the speed of the alternator varies. If the load increases, speed decreases, and due to that decrease in speed, frequency decreases. So what I'm telling you, as load increases, obviously we can experience this. You can experience this factor whenever you have some drive, let that be electrical drive or mechanical drive. You just see when you are going to increase the load, and if you are not going to change your input for the same input, speed decreases. And we know that speed and frequency are directly related. How? The speed formula we know, 120 f by p. With from this I can say that the speed is in direct relation with frequency. So as the speed is decreasing, frequency will also decrease. Opposite is also possible. When the load decreases, speed goes up, and as the speed is going increasing, frequency will increase. But practically, it is not desirable to have the variable frequency. We need to maintain the frequency as constant. There are some factors that will affect if we don't maintain the frequency as constant. We'll discuss those factors one by one. The very first factor that will affect is loss to the consumer. Loss to consumer. Loss in what sense? Suppose you are running an industry, and in that industry you are operating some drives, you are operating some induction motors. Okay, let's say you are having a printing press machine, and in that definitely you need some machines, you need some induction motors to drive. Okay, now we know that the controlling of the speed of the induction motor, it can be done with the help of controlling the frequency. Suppose you have got an order to print, let's say, 1,000 number of papers in one day. So for that, what you need to do is you need to have the control on your drive. When it is possible, if the frequency is constant, then only you can control that drive easily. Okay, suppose you have got the order and you have made the promise to your customer that I will provide you the printed papers number in number thousand, okay, in a one day. And suppose on that day you are experiencing the lower frequency. Suppose on the same day you are experiencing the lower frequency. Because of this decrease in the frequency, your drives will not operate, or they will not rotate with that speed, and you will not be able to print those number of papers. So this will result into the loss to the consumers. So that is the one problem. Second problem is parallel operation. Parallel operation of alternator is not possible here. What happens when we have to operate the alternator in parallel? We need to synchronize them, okay? Or else, suppose if you are going to connect the alternator in the grid, you need to synchronize the alternator with the grid. When we can say that we are synchronizing it? For synchronism, we need to have the three parameters. The one is voltage level, second is phase sequence, and the third and very important is frequency. Unless and until your alternator is having the constant frequency, or the frequency equal to the grid frequency, you cannot connect your alternator to that grid. Suppose if you want to operate two alternator in parallel, then those two alternators should have these three uh, parameters identical. Voltage level of those two alternators must be same, phase sequence of those two alternators must be same, and frequency of those two alternators must be same. Then only you can connect those two alternators in the parallel. And suppose if frequency is not constant in this case, then in that case, if it is not constant, then the parallel operation of alternator will not be possible. See, when we go for parallel operation of the alternator, suppose if the demand is very high and we don't have that alternator of that rating, then we can connect number of alternator in parallel and we can supply the demand. If this parallel operation is not possible, then if suppose if we have the larger demand, then we have to design the alternator of that rating or of that size, which is practically not possible. And preferably we go for parallel operation of the alternators. So if frequency is not constant, we may not be able to get this benefit. The third problem is losses in the transformer. Transformer losses, transformers losses, it depends directly on the frequency. So as the frequency, suppose if the frequency is increasing, losses in the transformer will increase. If it is decreasing, then it is okay, the losses will decrease. But when it is increasing, the losses will increase, which is also undesirable. Okay, so one more thing that already we have covered here, but I will consider that as separate point. Controlling of drive, controlling of electrical drive will not be possible when we don't have the frequency as constant. Because as I said, the speed of the electrical drive, it depends on this formula 120 F by P. As the frequency, because this number of poles we cannot change once the machine is manufactured, 120, it is a constant one. We need to maintain the frequency as constant also. If it is varying, the speed will also vary. Okay, you just consider the case, if the frequency is changing continuously and you are connecting or you are using some electrical derives to do some work, then you can imagine if the frequency is changing, your speed will change and you don't have control on that. Will you prefer that type of electrical derive in your system to operate? No. So for that, what is the best option? You should have the frequency constant. So these are the some points which give us the necessity, or which gives us the idea of keeping frequency constant. Okay, So now we'll go to the point where we'll see how we can control the load frequency for a single area. So now let us consider how we can control the load frequency for a single area. Okay, for that we will consider a problem where we have to control the output of the alternator of closely knit electrical area. See, closely knit electrical area means in that area, the whatever generators we have, those generator will form a coherent group. In a closely knit electrical area, see what we are going to do is we are going to control the output of the alternator in order to control the frequency, and that too we are going to control the output of the system where it is a closely knit electrical area. In the closely knit electrical area, the number of generators which are connected, they forms a coherent group. Now, what is this meaning of coherent group? You see, it is as if equal to the judwas. Okay, what we can say the judwas. So what happens here? Suppose you are operating. Let's say you have some number of generators which are forming a coherent group. So what happens in those generators? Suppose all of them are connected with each other. Okay, so if suppose the load is changes, load as the load is changing, we know that the speed of the alternator changes. So whenever the load changes, the speed of all the alternator will change similarly. Okay, it will change, the speed of the all the alternator will change in same manner. If suppose the load is decreases, the speed of the all the alternator will increase in same manner. So what is going to be there on the on the one generator, same you can experience on remaining generator. So such group of the generators are called as coherent group. So what is going to be happen on the one generator, same you can experience at same time. The same phenomena you can experience on other generators as well. So this happens in a closely knit electrical area where generator forms this coherent group. Okay. Now, as I said, all the generators, they respond to the change in the load same way, in same manner. Okay, speed decreases in for the one generator, other generator speed will also decrease. Speed of the one generator increases, speed of the other generators will also increase. So what we have to do is we have to see how we can control the frequency. Okay, so now what we can do is instead of considering all those generators, instead of considering instead of considering all generators, what we can do is we'll take only one generator from this group. We can consider only one generator from this group, and we will see how we can control the frequency for that generator. Once we get to know how we can control the frequency, the same thing, the same phenomena we can apply for all other generators. So this is how we can control the frequency for a single area. Single area means the area in which the generators which are there, they will form a coherent group. See, particularly what we can say is a single utility. Suppose for Maharashtra, if I speak, the utility it is state board. Okay, uh, definitely we have to talk in terms of generation. So that Maharashtra State Power Generation Corporation Limited, that utility, whatever the whatever the area comes under that utility, we can consider that area as a single area, because in that utility all the generators, they are connected very closely in it, and we can say that those generators will form a coherent group. So as the load in the Maharashtra, if it is changing, the speed of all the alternators which are connected in that area will decrease. their speed will change according to the load. Okay, so instead of taking all those number of generator, let us take one single generator. Okay, and let us see how we can control the load frequency in that on that generator, on that alternator. See, controlling frequency means nothing but we have to see how we can control the speed. So if we are controlling the speed, the frequency will remain same. So what we will do is we can consider only one generator. So what we will do is we will consider one turbo generator. I'll take one turbo generator which is supplying, which is going to supply an isolated load. Okay, so I'll take that system where only one turbo generator is going to supply the isolated load, and we will analyze how we can maintain the frequency as constant for this system, and whatever understanding we will get, we will apply the same understanding for rest of the other generators. So this is how we can control the load frequency in a single area. Okay, again, the alternator, this turbo alternator, whatever we are going to consider here, see, definitely this alternator, its speed will get affected because of the changes on the load. Okay, so whatever responses it is going to produce because of the change in the load, it depends on the response. It depends on the three different responses. First is speed governor response. Okay, speed governor response. Second is how turbine is going to respond for that change in the load. And the third is load model, how that load is modeled. So these are the three responses that we should learn for a turbo generator in order to control the frequency. Okay, so we will discuss these responses in the next lecture. Okay, thank you very much.